Thinking about getting your CDL? Come on out. We got locations at Springfield, Missouri, Pittston, PA, as well as Salt Lake, Utah. They do give classes twice weekly, and it's all year round. You still sitting there? What are you waiting for? Come on.
Morning, everyone. Steve Field coming to you live from the Z building here. We're in the basement. This is our Friday morning Facebook Live. Appreciate you tuning in, watching it live. For those of you that can, I know a lot of you will be watching this on tape. We've looked at our speakers for today. We looked at the questions from last week, and I think we have some good speakers, as we do each week. Today, we're going to focus on, we had a question last week. Well, what do I do if I see a tornado in front of me? And that's not going to happen. Well, it could happen. It does happen every year. Tornadoes are becoming quite prevalent in the South, maybe even moving a little bit out of Tornado Alley down into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. So Dave White's going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to throw it up to Rick Yarborough in Pittston. We know there's challenges up there with parking. That's a landlocked facility up there, but we've really been fortunate and been able to get some property there on Armstrong Road to build the training pad. We're able to get some property across the street that they're going to turn into driver long-term parking. Rick will update us on that. We do know the yard is crowded up there. And the last thing we want is people to say, well, I'm not going to stop in Pittston. It's crowded. I can't find a place to park. We need to make that work. So Rick is going to go ahead and update us on that. We've had a lot of questions on Success Leasing. We had them several weeks ago. We've got them back. We've got Kyla and Haley today. They've got some different topics they're going to talk about. And then we're going to go to the divisions, the Reefer division, flatbed and tanker division, and talk just a little bit about earnings broken down between solo and team. We had some questions on that when we talked about earnings last week. But let me just add one little piece to that. Remember, there's a lot of components that go into earnings. 1 week does not equate to next week. It's very fluid, the earnings. The loads you get, the miles you run, rate changes, just there's a lot of different parts to that. So don't take this as, oh, this is what I'm going to earn every week. We're going to show you some numbers. We're proud of these numbers. We're proud to show them to you and give you an idea on all three divisions on the independent contractor side, what our teams are doing, what our solos are doing, and really emphasize that difference between this team and the solo. I know there's a lot of you out there that, you know, the expression is, well, I'll never sleep behind someone that's driving. I understand that. I get that. There are some of you that have been solos for decades for us, and we appreciate that. We appreciate each of our drivers. But there are fantastic earning opportunities for those of you that do become a team, do join our training program. That training program is our lifeblood. It probably is not for everyone, but for those of you that get into it or even get into it part-time, there's some tremendous earning opportunities right there. And then finally, of course, we're going to have Robert and Steve. With this new format, we are able to take questions. If you're quick enough to get them typed in, Andrea gets them, and we can go ahead and get some questions answered for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got quite a few speakers. As I said, our first speaker today is Dave White. Most of you know Dave. If you've been involved in the truck driving championship for the last 20 years, you know Dave has always been a big part of that. He works at the state truck driving championship. He goes to the nationals with our team, and we've seen some of our drivers at the nationals, and I believe, unfortunately, this year that they have had to cancel it again, but for next year, I'm sure it's going to be back, and we're really looking forward to getting back in there. And that truck driving championship is something Dave has put a lot of time and effort into. So today I'm going to ask him to talk about tornadoes and what to do. So Dave, if you'll come on up and take over, please.
Thank you very much, Steve, and good morning, everybody, and a happy Good Friday today, and a special day it is. And a couple of days from now, we'll be hitting Easter, and I'd like to wish all of our operators out there too happy Easter, and thank you for doing what you do. If you're out there delivering loads for us, our customers do appreciate it. And last couple of weeks we've had some bad weather, and especially down in the southeast. And I think this is what kind of spurred us on this question: what do you do if a tornado happens or if severe weather occurs and you're driving down the road? You know, Birmingham got hit pretty hard by tornadoes. Atlanta did too. And that whole storm system did a lot of damage down there. So it brings us, and that's a good topic to discuss, and brings that right to the forefront. You know, what do you do? And I'm going to start off with this. You know, every time you pick up a load, you're the customer, you're the truck stop, make sure you trip plan. And part of that trip planning process, no matter what time of the year, is weather. Look at the weather. What's it doing currently? What's it going to be doing where you're going? If you're going out west, what's it look like tomorrow, the day after? Going out east, same thing. What's the weather conditions? Couple of terms that are very important to understand. If you hear the word tornado watch, watch means that the weather is favorable for tornadoes. It doesn't mean they've spotted one. It means that the weather is favorable. Tornado warning means there is a tornado that's imminent, that's around you somewhere close. So those two terms are very important to understand. Watches usually can be over 6-8 hours long, over a period of the day. Tornado warnings are very short, usually 20-30 minutes. And if you do hear that term, tornado warning, and you're in that county, you're close, you need to be getting a place to park and get safe real quick. So let's talk about what to do. You know, if you hear the word tornado warning, the weather's looking bad, you're parked at a truck stop, don't leave. Same thing at a rest area. You know, if a warning occurs, you're sitting at a truck stop, let's get inside that truck stop. That's the safest place. Get walls between you and the weather outside. Many places inside convenience stores and stuff, the cooler is the best place to go. Make sure you got a blanket with you. Make sure you got like some coat to cover yourself. If it does hit, there's going to be debris flying around. There could be glass, so protect yourself. Cover your face, your head. That's the most important, your upper body. And get low to the ground and stay underground. If you're out on the road and it, you know, starts looking ominous, and you know, and if you hear the word tornado warning, and that brings up another topic too. If the weather starts looking bad, get to a local radio station. Get off that satellite radio. I understand many of you use satellite radio. It's a good thing to have out there, but it won't tell you what the local weather conditions are doing. So listen to local weather stations or local radio. They'll tell you what watches and warnings, and you can kind of tell by looking at the sky. Looks a little bit ominous. It looks a little, you know, it doesn't look too friendly out there. You probably got some bad storms coming. So, you know, if that happens, try to find a place to park. Try to find a truck stop. If it starts looking real bad and you get a warning, try to get to one of those locations, a rest area. If you can't, worst case scenario, pull over the side of the road, put on your four ways. National Weather Service still gives this advice of grabbing a blanket, get out of your truck and get down into a ditch. If a tornado, you actually see one and it's coming towards you, they still say that's the best idea, best procedure to go. Get as far away from your vehicle as you can. So, you know, if it's hailing outside though, they tell you to do this. They tell you to stay inside your vehicle. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by hail. Hail could be going 80, 90 to 100 miles an hour from the sky, and it's not going to feel good, and it could do some damage to you. So stay inside your vehicle if it's already hailing, or if you see debris flying around. Once again, stay inside, stay seat belted in, and cover yourself, but be stopped on the side of the road. Your four ways on, and you know, just ride it out, and hopefully you'll be safe in that situation. How often does this happen to our operators? Doesn't happen very often. Once in a blue moon, we get a notification we got blown over or something. But if you're stopped, you got a lot better chance of being, you know, uninjured and not getting hurt in a situation. Couple of don'ts, what not to do. Number one, try to outrun a tornado. It's not a good idea. Even in cars, they tell you not to do this. Tornadoes are so unpredictable. If you see it and you think you can outrun it, especially in a big truck, you're not going to be able to. You know, just park and get safe and be secure inside your vehicle. The other option, and this was they used to give you the advice to do this. They say now, do not get up under overpasses. Overpasses create wind tunnels, and if a tornado does come close to that area, the amount of wind and debris can get up underneath that overpass can hurt and cause injuries. So that is a no-no anymore, and so don't get up underneath the overpasses. But the big thing is, you know, like I said, it doesn't happen very often, but it can happen out there on the road. We need to be prepared, is have a plan. What are you going to do if there's a tornado warning, you know, and execute that plan. Don't be surprised. This time of year, Easter, spring, so these storms develop, and they develop very quickly. So, you know, have a plan in place, what to do, and execute that plan if it does come through, and you do see yourself in this situation like this. So, Andrea, do we have any questions or anything?
Not really.
Nothing. Okay. If you do, Dave White in safety, give me a call. Just go through the switchboard if you want to, or call me direct. It doesn't matter. A number of you have my phone number. So other than that, I'm going to turn it back over to Steve. So.
Okay, Dave. I think that was some real good information there from Dave. And, a lot of it, everything that we do, it really just, it's so important that you're focused on what you're doing out there. Don't be distracted. We don't want you distracted while you're driving. And when you're going to be in conditions that there may be an opportunity for a tornado, that's the time to really be focused. I think that was a great idea to get a local radio station on your radio, hear what's going on, and don't take a chance. Well, it's probably not going to happen. If you have the opportunity to park, let's go ahead and do it. We just don't want to see anyone get hurt. And for any of you that saw the destruction over in Joplin, it's just unbelievable what a tornado can do. Probably most of you have seen areas where tornadoes have gone through and the trees are stripped bare, the bark's off, the branches are off, and it's just a tremendous amount of force there. So thank you for Dave for covering that. If you do have any follow-up questions with it, as Dave said, please get with him in safety and we'll get you an answer. So what we're going to try to do now is we're going to try to go up to Pittston. Andrea's working our technology here, and Yarborough on the line.
He's on.
Okay, Rick.
Can't hear you, Rick.
Yeah, I'm moving around. As you can see, it's a little windy here. I hope my reception's okay. Good morning, Prime.
Good morning, Rick.
It's 27 degrees here. April Fool's was yesterday and it snowed. That is not an April Fool's joke. But anyway, guys, I want to show you here, and I'm going to turn this camera around so that you can see what I'm seeing. Bear with me here.
Rick, just move your phone around.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. Sorry. We do get a lot of questions about parking here in PA at the Pittston terminal. So this is the terminal, and I'm standing across the street where we're going to develop some additional parking. This is our current driver long-term parking. If you've been here, I'm going to walk a little bit. It's extremely crowded if you're going to leave your personal vehicle. So what we're going to do.
Hey Rick, I can't hear you. It's too windy. Can you move inside?
Yeah, okay. I'll head back inside now. Anyway, we currently have about 90 parking spots for your personal vehicles. When we're done here, we're going to have 270 plus some motorcycle spots as well for you to leave your vehicles here. I think Andrea just put a visual up. Let me try not to get hit by a car running across the street here. So we're going to add this, and you'll be able to safely park your car. It'll be a little bit nicer area than this dirt, muddy, swampy, dark parking that you see there. And once you park, you can just run right across the street to the terminal. Another thing we're going to add, over the years, we've had questions about, my dog's dirty, I want to wash the dog, my dog needs some exercise, what can I do? So we're going to add 3 dog washes as well as 3 dog runs. So you'll be able to take care of your pet there, your food companion. Side here, so you can hear me a little bit better. Okay, that was my tour in the nice inclement weather here we have in PA. I'll turn it back around now. Okay, my nose is already red from being out there for 30 seconds. Also, real quick, by the way, we're going to start this in about 3 weeks. Hopefully we can break dirt. Start breaking ground. We'd already hoped to have it going, but of course, like everything in PA, we have to worry about local permits, and our township engineer wanted to have a new look at it. So we have a couple of changes to make, then we'll get started. We also have quite a few questions about the yard itself. As Steve mentioned, our yard is crazy packed. It really is. We have a lot of equipment here for sale as well. Pedigree's really moving a lot of Prime's used equipment. Other companies and other drivers around the country really look for used prime equipment, and it sells well, it moves well. So that's a lot of the equipment we have here we're working on, but we are seeking other parking options to clear it up a little bit so it's not quite so difficult to move around the yard. Many drivers that come here often have given me some suggestions and some ideas, and we're exploring those as well. But that's it. You know, if you guys are ever in the Pittston terminal and you need anything, please seek me out. If you want to talk to me on the phone, just call the terminal and ask anyone to patch you through to Rick Yarborough. If I'm not at my desk phone comes straight here to my cell phone. I rarely do not answer unless I'm in a meeting. But if you need anything here, we're continuing to make improvements to our driver's lounge. We're getting new furniture and just trying to make things better for you when you're actually here at your home away from home. Other than that, if there's no questions, I guess that's all I have, Steve.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate you risking your life there, crossing the street and out in the wind. So you're talking about starting in about 3 weeks. Do we have an estimated completion date on that parking lot across the street?
You know, I'd be lying if I said yes, Steve. With Pennsylvania, you just never know. And it's not just a weather thing. We get hit with EP here a lot. So we're hoping definitely by the end of summer, we should have that up and running.
Okay. And the second question I have, you know, I think I've heard you talk about this before, maybe some off-site parking for the pedigree equipment to free it up for our operators. Anything going on with that right now?
Other than searching for it, we don't have any concrete answers. We do move quite a bit of equipment down to the training pad. You know, the training pad is just straight down the road here, about a quarter mile. We do move equipment back and forth, especially around the holidays and the weekends. We try to get as much equipment off the yard as we can. We do not have any other property that we can purchase right now. As you mentioned earlier, property's tight here, especially on this road. If anything, you know, does go up for sale, or we have the opportunity for something that makes sense economically to get, we'll do it.
Okay, Rick. Thanks for that information. You know, I know you're doing your best up there, and just being in the Northeast does present some unique challenges with space. And I know you're using every square foot you have up there. So thank you for the update today, Rick. Appreciate you.
You got it. Thanks, Steve. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Okay. Now we're gonna move over to Success Leasing. You all know Kyla. We've had her here many times. This time we've also got Haley. Haley will be making her Facebook Live debut today. So we're going to ask them to come on up here, and I think they've got some good information for you.
Hi guys, my name is Kyla from Success Leasing. I'm Haley. We just wanted to go over a couple quick things. So last video, we talked about the new Peterbilts that we're going to be getting in, and just wanted to give an update on those. Those should start coming in after the July orders. And a couple of visible changes that you'll have is the digital dash, and then some visibility and aerodynamic changes to the outside of the cab. So similar to whenever we made that model change with Freightliners, this is Peterbilt's model change to what their Peterbilts will look like. Hello, my name is Haley. I handle all of the new ordered trucks. So when you've been leasing for 3 months, it's your turn, and you can go to our website and place an order for an ordered truck. So you can pick either Peterbilt, Freightliner, you have the option to choose your color. You also have the option to get some extras. So if you want chicken lights or lumbar seats or just some different things, carpets in the sleeper, whatever you're wanting, you have the option to do that. So you'll go to our website, successleasing.com, and then on the top right-hand side, it says new ordered trucks. You'll just click on that. You'll go through, you'll follow the whole, just the whole list of everything. You'll choose exactly what you're wanting. At that time, it'll go to Jennifer in the TWIC office. She'll actually place the order with the manufacturer. And then I will be getting in touch with you about 30 days before your truck will be here. If you are doing a lease purchase though, we will need the $1,000 down in order to make that lease purchase. You can pay that with certified funds. So either a cashier's check, money order, wire, however you want to do that. And then the rest is due to us when you come to pick up your truck. So 30 days prior to when you come and get your truck, I will be giving you a call. We'll just go over the rest of your down payment. I'll let you know if your truck's running on time. Hopefully it is. What's going on. And then I'll just remind you to give Stripes and Stuff a call so you can get your graphics picked out for your new ordered truck. And then once your truck gets here to the yard, I will give you a call as well. At that time, we'll set up an appointment time for you to come and see me and get your keys and your inspection form. So hopefully this is a smooth process for you. And then send you your contract and you'll be on your way. With COVID, Haley brings up a good point of the appointment times. That really gave us an opportunity to make our truck deliveries more personable. And we are really striving to make sure that your truck pickup, like she said, is as smooth as possible. So make sure you make that appointment time. And Haley will be communicating with you on that new truck order. When I do call you 30 days out too, I'll ask you if there's anything I can get for you. So if you'd like detail to install a fridge or a step box or mud flap chain racks, I can get all that taken care of for you before you even get to the yard. So hopefully this is a fast, quick transition for you from one truck to the other. I'll really be your point person between the shops as well. So anything that I can do to help you through the process, I'm happy to. Honestly, the more communication we have together, the easier it goes.
All right, we have lots of questions. Gregory Prenti wants to know, are you going to get the cameras in the mirrors? And I'm guessing that's for the Peterbilt.
And that is not an option that we have as a standard feature at this time.
Bob wants to know if the 2022 Freightliner is going to have the digital dash.
I do believe that the digital dash is coming on the Freightliners. I want to confirm that, and then we can post back on your comment once I get a for sure answer for you.
All right. Robert said, can lease purchase trucks switch between divisions?
Can they switch between divisions? So whenever you do your lease purchase initially, your price for the truck is the truck price. So if say you went from reefer to flatbed, that's definitely an option that you would have. You would just be responsible for the cost of the headache rack. Your truck payment doesn't change. Same thing if you went to tanker.
Anthony Eck wants to know, will there be an updated option list for the new piece?
Yes. So once we start, and they actually should be updated on the website already because we're taking July orders now. So if there is an option that you're wanting on the new body style or the new model and you don't see it, just give us a call and we can check on that for you.
Jeremiah said, what about available trucks for upgrading? What is the current upgrade weight?
That's been a big question in our office. We're really trying to keep our wait times down with drivers right now, which is why if you get with your fleet manager, it may be a couple of weeks on the reefer side before you can come in, because we don't want you sitting here on the yard. Availability has gotten a lot better. We've been working closely with the tractor shop and the detail shops and all of our other locations, Pittston and Salt Lake City, to get drivers seated. Right now, we're on about a 2-day wait, give or take. We are looking at creative ways to get trucks through the shop and get you guys in those trucks. And keep in mind, your first lease isn't the one you're going to be in for 3 years. You have that option to order it 3 months.
Definitely.
And so it's always a good opportunity. We want to get you out on the road making money. So remember, your first truck may not be your forever truck, but it's still going to be a good truck to get you out on the road.
We like to say your first truck is not probably going to be your dream truck, but just go out for 3 months and then you can order your dream truck. So you can pick that color, you can get those extras, whatever you're wanting, and then you can turn in your other truck and get rolling again.
Charles Smith said, how about a walkthrough for folks who are getting a type of truck they've never had?
That's actually a really good point, and we are working on getting some videos put together. We have a few that we've done in the past. They just need updated. We're doing a walkthrough today for leasing, so if anybody's here on the yard this afternoon and wants to look at trucks, we'll have one of each model out on the curb, and really that's for us to kind of help communicate better and educate drivers whenever they come in if it is a truck that they haven't had before.
Christy said, so the procedure is to lease for 3 months and then you can purchase. Can you clarify between if you're ordering a truck, do you have to purchase that truck?
No, you can you can order a truck and it can be a standard lease. So run the truck for 3 years, 4 years, however you want to do it. And then at the end of that term, you would get your incentive. If it's a lease purchase, you would order the truck and then you would run the truck for 3 or 4 years. You would decide on that. And then you would pay your $100 balloon payment at the end. And then at that time, we would give you your title and the truck would be yours. So it can be a standard lease where you get the incentive, or it can be an ACE lease where it would be your truck at the end.
Alan Hunt asked if you guys handle the lease completion dinner. Can you go over how that's going right now?
Yeah, so this was one of the questions we had last video as well. We are back to doing lease completion dinners. With COVID, we have a few restrictions. So first, to even qualify, you have to have completed a full 3-year lease. If you had a lease that you completed during COVID and you want to do your dinner now, we can definitely accommodate. We're just asking that we schedule in advance. You know, we used to be able to do them same day most of the time. Now we need to plan a little bit. We have to make sure we have availability over at the restaurant and the operations are here on site. And then we're limiting it to 1 driver. We used to have huge dinners where we'd have, 10 to 12 drivers. And now we're really making it more of an intimate setting with 1 driver, their guest, fleet manager, operations manager, and a leasing associate to really celebrate what you've accomplished.
John Purley asked if a regular lease can be switched to a lease purchase at any time during the lease.
Cannot be switched at any time. So if you're in a standard lease, once the truck is 2 years old, you have the option to purchase the truck. Each of our contracts have a Schedule C in the contract, which gives your purchase price from the 2-year mark forward. And then if you wanted to switch over to a lease purchase, once the truck is at the 3-year mark and is less than 450,000 miles, it would qualify to do a lease purchase. And we also have now a request link on our website. If you are interested in either paying your truck off, so you want to just buy it with outside financing, or if you want to do a lease purchase, we have that form online so we can reach out to you and get all the information that you need to make that next step.
Robert Moses said, Tanker really needs the option to get half fenders. Will they be an option in the future?
That is not an option that I'm aware of at this time. Again, I'd like to get a definite answer for you and we can respond back on your comment.
Jason King said, if I bring cash outright, buy the truck, can I get a 13-speed and duals and 336 rear ends?
Oh my.
Unfortunately, no. So we really spec our truck to make sure that it's going to be what we feel is the best operating cost and expense for our operators, and giving our customers that you're hauling for the best money as well. So we want to make sure that those trucks are spec'd for the best operating.
If you are wanting to do a lease purchase, it is $14,000 down. You get $1,000 off that down payment price for every consecutive year you've been with Success Leasing, up to 6 years. So the lowest that down payment could be is $8,000. If you are wanting to do a manual, we don't have very many. It is the $14,000 down. You have to pay that up front. None of that is refundable.
We did get a few questions about the Volvos. What is the status?
No status changes. We are in the process of starting our new truck deal, meaning that we're starting to look at manufacturers. There's a lot of things that go into the decision to buy trucks. We are looking at the 25 that we tested over the last 3 years, and we'll put that into our consideration for our next truck deal.
Joe said, do you have to buy a new refrigerator with each truck?
No, you do not. I'll let you answer that
It's
one.
okay. You do not. But with truck models and how they change, the specs for the fridge are most likely going to change too. So it just kind of depends. If you want to put your fridge in there, great. If it fits, if you're moving from Peterbilt to Freightliner, it's not going to fit. But you can get a used fridge over at Detail. So a lot of times when people turn in their trucks, Detail will give them credit, and then you can get a used fridge as well.
And then our company store also sells the new model fridges, if that's something you're interested in.
Perfect. Alan said, my lease completion happened last April 2020. How are things happening for past lease completions?
So again, if you did complete a full lease during that COVID period where we weren't able to do dinners, we are definitely able to accommodate. We keep a running list, so I'm able to see who hasn't had their dinner and who still needs to get caught up. So just give us a call and we can get that scheduled. We do dinners Monday through Thursday. Again, just asking that we schedule that in advance to make sure that everyone is here on site.
Joseph said, are we able to get upgrades that aren't on the prime list but are on the factory list?
Just depends on what that upgrade is. I always recommend calling and speaking with Drewry, and we'll make sure that that's something that we can get added to your truck and give you a price as well.
All right, last question. Are we looking at any other trucks besides Volvos?
As far as adding to the truck deal, again, that is really up to the vendor to kind of approach us. So we'll have Peterbilt, Freightliner. I'm sure Volvo will be in that mix, and Kenworth possibly might be in that mix as well. And then it really just comes down to operating costs, truck costs, parts costs. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that truck deal to make sure that we're getting the best operating truck out there for you guys.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
That's a lot.
That was fantastic. Wow, that was amazing. I want to thank Kyla and Haley for being here. They're both quick on their feet, answering those questions. Those were some great questions. And I can tell from the number of questions we have that we need to keep Success Leasing on our rotating schedule. So we'll do that probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll have them back for some different topics. I think the way they answered the questions, their knowledge, it really shows how in tune Success Leasing is. During the COVID crisis, if you will, for the last 13 months, Success Leasing never closed. They've always been on site here. We've rotated some people during tough times, but they've always been here for our operators to answer questions, order trucks, help them. So I just want to go ahead and thank Success Leasing for all they've done. They do a remarkable job. They sit right behind safety in the Z building on the first floor. We can hear their interaction with drivers all the time. We can hear their laughter. They enjoy their work and they enjoy helping the operators. So thank you to both Kyla and Haley for being here today. Okay, we talked at the beginning, we're going to talk about earnings a little bit. I believe we're going to focus on the independent contractor side. We're going to start with the tanker division. So I'm going to ask Brett Von Waller to come up and take it from here. Brett?
Thank you. Good morning. Happy Easter weekend to you. For those out working, I appreciate you being out there going up and down the roads during the holiday. For those of you at home, enjoy that time with the family. It's well-deserved, and I appreciate what you do when you are out on the road. I'd like to take a minute. There's going to be a slide up on the screen to show our tanker earnings, the difference between solos and our teams. I get asked a lot, can you make any money in the tanker division running teams? And the answer is yes, you can. As you can see, our lead seat teams earnings average $2,900 per week. That is putting it in the bank, $2,900 per week. On the solos, it's $1,500 per week. But I want to focus on the teams just a little bit. We need more teams. We need good quality drivers out there training for us, safe, on time, and can teach that to the new drivers coming on. We do it a little bit different than the other divisions. As you can see, we can get $2,900 to the lead seat, but to do it, we take an 800-mile load, say New Jersey to Chicago, that's loaded on a Monday. We'll put you on a Pennsylvania load to deliver Tuesday, have that 800-mile load preloaded. You'll come back and get it Tuesday and deliver Wednesday. So we do a lot of short loads and then long loads. So it's a little bit different than the other divisions who run the longer miles. But as you can see, we can get you the same revenue as the other divisions. That's really all I have. The other gentlemen are going to speak. Jim's going to speak next.
I'm Jim Wilkins. Who?
Can't wait.
Okay. Start again.
No, you're live.
Oh, I'm live. Okay. I'm Jim Wilkins. I work with the flatbed and the tanker group. I'm going to talk to you this morning a little bit about earnings on the flatbed side. To start with, I guess I want to mention that you play a big role in what you're able to earn here at Prime. Freight has been very good now for several months, and that is a big help, of course, freight availability, but you've got fuel costs to consider. How efficiently are you running your truck? Claims, are you claim free? Out of route miles, a lot of different things go into helping you become profitable. Our fleet managers are there to help you. I encourage you to talk to them on a regular basis about that because they play a big role. If I can help you, don't be afraid to call me. My number is 417-521-3864, and I'll help you all I can. As far as the numbers go, I think the numbers that we're putting up on the screen show teams a little over 2,700 and solos a little over 1,400. So there's a big advantage here to run team in all divisions. And Brett hit the nail on the head. We need more people to participate in our team activity. And there's multiple reasons for that. Part of it is it gives you the opportunity to enhance your income, improve your earnings, but it also gives you the opportunity to pass along what you have learned and what you know to people that are new in the business. And this is important to us. Brett mentioned how they kind of stagger loads and try to keep trucks busy by doing that. We do a little bit of that too in flatbed. We don't have a lot of time-sensitive freight, so we have when we're dealing with teams, we have to look at the usage of your time, and we understand how valuable that is, and so we try to put teams on loads that will help you utilize that time and help us utilize that time more effectively. Additionally, we have a lot of spot trailers at different shippers, so that gives us an opportunity to get loads preloaded and not use up your time waiting to load or things like that. And Tanker does it too, Reefer does it too. It's just a tool out there that Prime has that helps you and us be more profitable as long as we use those things correctly. What else?
No hard questions.
Oh, come on.
All good. Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Jim Guthrie in the Reefer operations. I noticed that Jim and Brett didn't have any papers or notes to share. I guess they're a little bit more on top of it than I am. So I'm bringing some cheat sheets here so I can talk about some of these numbers. We've got some outstanding business people, businessmen and businesswomen out there. You ask a lot of really great questions. Last week, somebody said, "Hey, that number you're throwing out, that's solos and teams, I think, right?" And so I wanted to go through a couple numbers just from last week with you in the Reefer division. So the average solo truck in the Reefer division last week, gross revenue to the truck was $4,194 per truck, and the average team was $8,322 per truck. So we talked about this in our last driver advisory board meeting, and a couple of people said right away, "Well, wait, that's just that's every truck, right? That doesn't mean the trucks that are out running," and that's absolutely correct. So last week, about 75% of you were on the road. So if we take a look at what those 75% earned that were on the road or gross to their truck, the numbers are a little bit different. So the average solo last week that was available to run, gross earnings were $5,571 a truck. And the average team last week that was available to run, the gross earnings were $11,056 per truck. So the reason I wanted to highlight those numbers is, number one, because a lot of you are, like I said, very astute business people asking these questions. But number two, illustrating the powerful demand for teams, particularly in the Reefer division with produce, meat, sensitive, perishable products. The demand for teams has never been higher. Our customers are literally desperate for our team capacity. We've got more teams than any other carrier out there, so they really depend on us to the next level. They depend on us more than they depend on everybody else. So how we perform really is, at the end of the day, is how well these customers perform and getting food to the shelves in many circumstances. So, the message is, what I'm telling you is, if you are out there running in the fleet today, we love every driver out there. You're all family. We love our solos. We love our teams. A lot of you have come through our driver development program. Probably 60% of our trucks today have come through our driver development program. And there's some of you that have come through that program that are training or instructing new drivers to come into the fleet. And so I just ask you to consider it. The earnings potential is there, as illustrated by these numbers. And also, somebody kind of gave back when you came to the company, and they trained you, and now you're a successful business person out there running freight. Consider giving back, even if it's part-time. We'll take anything we can get right now. We need all the help. Our demand is something that's unprecedented, and it's going to continue that way for the foreseeable future. So we really want to bring in as many people and have good quality drivers to train our new drivers that are coming into the company. Now, the earnings that are up on the screen, I think, or if they're not, they will be soon. This is the last 4 weeks average earnings after all expenses are paid, and the solos were at $15.45. Now this doesn't adjust for the available percentage because we don't have a metric for that. So this is the average settlement for the average truck out there. That means there's a lot higher and there's some lower depending on who is available. So $15.45 on the solos, $3,105 on the teams. Obviously, it's more than double for the lead seat teams, and that's the lead seats settlement after all expenses are paid, including the second seat wages. So those are real powerful earnings. We like them. We want them to be more. We're working on it. We've got some more rate increases coming, and so the opportunity is there. We ask you to think about it, consider it, and help us bring more good quality, safe drivers into the company.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Linda wants to know, why are drop and hooks not efficient? There seems to be an issue with trailer availability. Can you speak about that?
We have about 11,500 trailers across the country. Robert reminds me about it every day. So our challenge is working with all of our different shippers and receivers and our operations people, all of our drivers, to utilize those to the best of our ability and maximize the utilization of each piece of equipment. We do have a lot of volatility in the network with some shippers and receivers having labor problems. There could be some of that. Definitely reach out to me if you run into a problem where it's a specific situation. We'll make sure we address it one way or another. A lot of times there's shippers that we need to work with or receivers we need to work with. Sometimes it's our operations people that need to kind of think outside of the box on these trailers. Sometimes we have as you know, drivers that don't drop them in the best condition. So we need everybody's help to make sure that we're doing the right thing for everybody with trailers. And like I said, reach out on any specific example, and we'll address those issues.
Okay, one more. Danielle said, what am I doing wrong then? So if he's seeing these numbers and they're not earning them, what should they do?
Well, your fleet manager, again, is your business partner. So definitely have these conversations with your fleet manager. If you need to speak with an operations manager, and that would help. If you haven't been through the ACE2 class that's offered, it's a really good experience to come and review your business, review some of what's going on, and review how you can improve your results. The most successful drivers out there are those that run the network and they do everything they can to minimize their costs while they're doing everything they can to maximize their availability for their individual situation. So the more you make yourself available, the more you minimize your costs, the better your results are going to be. And you've got every business is a little bit different. Everybody's got an individual situation. So, that's why it's so important to have a good connection and relationship with your fleet manager, who is your business partner, and, be sure to reach out to them and have those conversations. And we certainly want to help you wherever you need some guidance.
One last question. Jay said, shippers refusing to release empties. What should they do if this happens?
Contact your fleet manager, and we'll work on it from operations, from the operations perspective, and those are not good situations either. And so we certainly want to address that with our customers. These trailers are very, very valuable pieces of equipment, and we want to put the pressure on all of our facilities, whether it's a shipper or receiver, to utilize the equipment efficiently. Sometimes that's a little bit out of our control, depending on what they do, because they may have product on it. So we need to communicate and work with those facilities to maximize that trailer operation. We don't want to have any kind of delays for you. So make sure your fleet manager knows and we can address it.
Great, thanks.
Okay, well, everybody, happy Easter. Really appreciate all you're doing. Please be safe. We got some good weather coming through the weekend. And like I said, we need you. Our customers need our support. So please, if you're going home for the weekend, let's try to get out as quickly as possible, enjoy the weekend, and move forward. Thank you.
Now, I want to thank all three of the division heads, Brett, Jim, and Jim. It's tough to stand up here and take the questions and have all the information. But there was one question I really liked there, and it was a question from Daniel. What if I'm not seeing those earnings? And I think Jim did a fantastic job answering that question. But I do want to just add one thing in case you're not aware of this. At Prime, I think the word might be alignment. Your fleet manager is aligned with you. If a fleet manager has 80 trucks and those 80 trucks are maybe not getting the earnings the drivers would like, they're not doing as well, that simply means that fleet manager is not doing as well either. A fleet manager with 80 or 90 trucks that they're doing well, that means the fleet manager is doing well. Please use your fleet manager as a partner with you. We are completely transparent. The points that Jim just brought up were just spot on about running the network, working with your fleet manager. We want each of our drivers to be as successful as possible. And that's what our goal is as a company. We've heard Robert say it time and time again. Why are you here? We know you like driving. We know you like seeing the country. But at the end of the day, you're here to support your family. And we owe you a good living. We work very hard at that. We can do better. We're constantly improving. But the bottom line is, if you're not seeing the earnings that you think you should be getting based on these numbers, talk to someone about it. Don't be a victim. Let us help you get to the point where you should be with your earnings. Going to ask Robert and Steve to come up. Again, be quick with those questions. We'll keep them up here until we run out of questions. So Robert, Steve?
I've been at Prime a little over 8 years. I came through the CDL program here myself. During that whole process, you're going to be learning the in and outs of the game. You're going to be learning how to do everything you need to do, so when you get on your own, you are ready to go and you're a safe driver.
Last time he was like, hey, get the mic, and a pick up all. There you go. Okay, you're live. You're on.
Good morning. Happy Good Friday and happy Easter.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Happy Good Friday. Say, I'll kick this one off with a safety statement. Things haven't changed in safety here. It's our highest calling. This COVID thing, while we are getting on the other side of it, I don't think we should take anything for granted. Every day we're getting closer to getting more people in the terminal here, but continue to sanitize, mask up, and protect yourself, which will eventually protect your family and our customer base. So we appreciate that. Of course, the other highest calling is just your safety as you're driving up and down the highway. So please keep those two things in mind. If you don't remember anything else from these meetings or from what I say, please remember that. Go ahead, Robert.
Well, health and safety is certainly one of the basic tenets, one of the things that we owe you. We owe you a safe, healthy environment. The other thing is that we owe you the opportunity to earn, to make some bank. Steve, do you understand making some bank?
Lots of money. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and right now you've seen these numbers. We don't make them up, folks. If anything, they're on the conservative side. Of course, there are ones that are greater and there are ones that are less, depending on the individual operation. And that goes back to what the Success Leasing folks were saying about the equipment and how carefully, we grind on these vendors to get the very best deal we can and the very best piece of equipment. And that oftentimes, usually, is not the cheapest truck that we could buy out there or trailer we could buy. It's the best. It's the lowest operating cost, fully burdened, and over time. The other basic tenet that we owe you, and this perhaps, and I think absolutely is above all, and that is respect. Respect for what you do. Truck drivers are so important to this country. You make tremendous sacrifices to keep this nation fed and clothed and everything else. It all comes by truck. We haul a bunch of it, pharmaceuticals, the high value, all those products come by truck. You all make huge sacrifices to do that. So above all, we owe you respect.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Robert. And I think the beauty of that comment is it starts at the top and goes all the way down through our culture here at Prime. I was walking through the cafeteria this week and ran into one of our operators, and he's domiciled in Florida and was really interested in some kind of a dedicated situation. Well, the fact is we do have a lot of regional operations that are available. Each one's a little bit different, but the answer to that question is to talk to your fleet manager once again and see just exactly what might be going on in each geographic region. You've heard a lot about earnings from Jim and Brett. We're proud of the earnings that we're able to provide, and it's provided because of the service you give us. So the point here is we have a lot of additional rate increases in the pipeline, as Jim Guthrie has said. Our salespeople have been working with our customers, and we're seeing a lot of opportunity on the rate side. In May and June, you'll see these new rates implemented, and they are significant. So as far as we're concerned, we won't see anything except earnings continue to move along, which is a really great situation. The fact is, demand is still over the top. Our customers would like to see us handle more freight, more of the committed lanes. I think we turned down like 14,000 loads last week, which is a very big number for us. So it just demonstrates the overall demand that's out there. So as we've talked about trying to team up, trying to find new operators to build our total fleet size, that is a primary focus for us. A team can handle obviously a lot more, many more loads weekly than a solo, higher level of expedited service. We're really getting a lot of velocity on the team. So those are all things that are part and parcel of our offering to our customer base. So please think about helping us build that number, whether it's recruiting or whether it's training. A little early here for me this morning. Sorry. Anyway, just think in terms of giving back to the industry that you've been a part of. So thank you for that.
There is just absolutely over the top, tremendous demand. And you can spread the word out there to our competitors, whomever. We're coming after them. We're going to step in and fill this capacity void that exists. We're going to get it done. You all are doing it on a daily basis. We want to grab that market share, because the more market share we have, the more leverage Steve has as he negotiates rates. And the money is good now, and it's going to get better. And again, Steve gave the attribution to who deserves it, and that's you all. You know, your good service, your on-time deliveries, your safe operations. You deserve this. Finally, truck drivers, at least here at Prime, are capable or making the money that they deserve for what they do. And that's a really good thing. I mean, I've been in this a lot of years, about 51. I know.
No
I
kidding.
started very young,
Way over there.
51 years, and it has never been better. I mean, truckers have languished for generations, literally, as far as earnings are concerned. And finally, the money is here now, and we want to step in and garner as much of this market share from good shippers that respect our drivers. And yeah, to Jim Guthrie's point, respect our trailers and utilize them efficiently. We're going to allocate capacity to them. That's our objective, and we're getting it done.
Yeah, I think shippers of choice is the term that is really being leaned on right now. And that is about how our drivers are treated, how our trailers are treated as far as velocity of turn. So that's all, again, part of what our sales team is working on, trying to identify those that are abusing our trailers to some degree. And Robert, certainly we would be remiss if we didn't take a moment and thank our veterans for
Always thank our veterans.
everything they've done. You bet.
We're going into the weekend in really good shape, freight-wise. Someone else mentioned, I mean, if you're at home enjoying your family and the holiday, that's wonderful. We appreciate that. And if you're out there picking up and delivering freight, we appreciate that. We've got a lot of pool trailers out there. Hopefully we can get you a drop and hook and just keep you operating. So thank you, folks, for what you do.
Before you step away, gentlemen, that kind of a common theme in the last couple of weeks has been tolls. Steve, can you maybe start us on tolls and how you negotiate with the customers? Basically, the comment from our operator was tolls can eat us up out there.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I will tell you, in every negotiation that we have, we try to recognize the toll cost on a given lane. In fact, we have software that tells us exactly what that lane might cost us to run, say, from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts. We have had some success with some of our customers getting that as a pass-through item. When we can't do that, we try to recognize it through additional money in the line haul. You know, the thing about this business is the marketplace is still bigger than we are. While we know there's a cost associated with that, we need other people, our competition, to recognize that as well, to keep pressure and push on the shipper regarding what those tolls truly are. So please understand, we are trying to knock it out of the park every time we talk to a customer. We're not just talking about line haul rates. We're talking about stop-offs. We're talking about detention. We're talking about tolls. We're talking about dwell time. All of those things are part of what we're pitching to our customer base.
Well, it ties into what we were talking about earlier. We want to be that powerful force in the marketplace so that when Steve goes in there and says, look, we're going to give you a separate line item for toll expense, and it's going to go up as tolls go up, because I don't think they're going down. We want to get it from the shipper. We don't want to say, oh, it's in the rate, it's in the rate, because so many times, I ain't buying it's in the rate. We've split it 72-28, just like we do the revenue, but you're absolutely right. Question is a wonderful question. I appreciate you asking this guy, because I want him to go after those tolls with every customer. And he's going to get there, or he's just going to have a lot of hurt bumps all over his head.
Yeah, I'll be walking down the road kicking a can if we don't get better at this, that's for sure. And you have our commitment that we're working diligently on that. So thank you for the question.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
We do have a couple follow-up questions for leasing. Kyla has come back up, so go ahead, Kyla.
So one of the questions was about the digital dash on the Freightliners, and we will be getting those in. Freightliners told us those should be coming in around fourth quarter of this year. The second question I wanted to follow up on was the smaller fenders on the tankers, and that's not an option that we'll be ordering at this time. I also had questions that we get a lot in our office, and you guys had so many good questions that I forgot to bring those up. One of those was how many leases you can have. On a standard lease, you can only have one lease truck. If you're doing a lease purchase, so you've got your down payment and you have drivers for them, you can do as many lease purchases as you would like that you have drivers and down payments for. I will advise that we try to work with you on that. We want to caution you not to try to grow too fast. We want you to be successful. So if you want to come in and try to purchase, do a lease purchase on 5 trucks right off the bat, we're going to try to sit down with you and kind of walk you through that business side. Another question that we get a lot is your e-fund on end of lease incentives. Your e-fund is your money. So that's not something that we're going to just apply automatically for you. If you want your e-fund applied or you want to use that 1 week, you'll go through your payroll associate and they will apply that for you. That's not an automatic feature. We want to make sure that you're in control of that money that you set aside. And then the last question that we get a lot is forgiven lease payments. On your forgiven lease payments, you start earning those after 2 years of leasing. You earn 1 at 2 years, 1 at 3 years, and then at 4 years, you start earning 2 per year. And those are just on standard leases. You can call and have those applied, just have to have them in before Wednesday at 4 so we can make sure to get it on that payroll week for you. I think that's all the questions I had.
We did have one more question about leasing in New Jersey. Can you cover who qualifies for it?
So right now we are not leasing out of New Jersey. So if you are a resident of New Jersey, and the same goes for California, you would just be a company operator or a company driver.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
I want to thank all our speakers today. I hope those of you that watched it live or watching it later, that it was a good use of your time. We went just a little bit over an hour today. I thought our speakers were fantastic. The information on the tornadoes from Dave, Success Leasing, our operations, all 3 divisions, and then Robert and Steve. We try to make these informative. We've already got 3 speakers lined up for next week based upon questions that we've gotten. We're going to have Susan from the log department. There's no one more knowledgeable about how these electronic logs work. So you've got a week to be thinking of tough questions for her. We're going to have Christina from the R&R office, the retention and rewards program that's there for our independent contractors to set some money aside that they're not even contributing, that Prime and Success Leasing is contributing for their future. And we're also going to talk a little bit about mental health. I think we'll probably use our driver health and fitness coordinators and maybe human resources, because mental health is important. I do appreciate that question that came up today. We want to prepare just a little bit for it. So we will have a speaker next week on that. We'll be back next Friday at 8 o'clock. We'll be in the same location. We put up some great numbers this week. We did have 1 rollover. Those are always unfortunate, but literally that was our 1 serious accident this week. So a fantastic week. Let's keep it going right through the weekend, and we'll see everyone next Friday. Thank you.